Is your small business growing? That's the question we address right here on the Grow Your Biz Show. It's where we interview strategic entrepreneurs who inform and inspire you on your solopreneur or small company journey. Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Grow Your Biz Show. Do you wish you could earn a living doing what you're passionate about? If so, today's show is just for you, because in the KPAO TV studios today, we have Jim Sutton. Jim, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Great to have you here. Jim's with Kung Fu Damsels, and we're going to get his story straight ahead. In the meantime, I just want to make sure that you're welcome, that you know where you are. This is the Grow Your Biz Show, episode number 111. 111, Jim. So
wow,
that's
keep going, buddy.
Yeah, we're getting there. So episode 111, and I'm Paul Madsen, the host of the program and the founder of GrowMedia.com. GrowMedia.com helps grow the social engagement for small businesses, and we do that through our short strategic videos. That's what we do, Jim, and now we're going to talk about what you do.
Absolutely.
Kung Fu Damsels. Great name.
Well, thanks. I was a little stressed when we were trying to come up with the name because I never want to cheapen the concept of the martial arts family that I belong to, so I was hesitant to use the term Kung Fu.
Well, there's a lot of history in there, and
well, there is. But
of course, I remember. I'm old enough, and maybe you are too, to remember the TV series. Of course,
that's what got me started.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. Kung Fu was the name of the show, right?
It was, but it was
in the 70s or early 70s.
It was, yeah.
Early 70s. Well, before we get into all that,
Sure.
I wanted to ask you, Jim, what is the customer benefit that you provide?
Our sole mission is to educate, equip, and empower women to defend themselves.
Well, that's a pretty clear mission.
Sole
mission is to educate,
equip, and empower women to protect themselves.
Okay, well, that kind of says it all right there. And well, I mean, why do women need protecting? I know it's a dumb question, but tell me.
Well, it is.
The,
I mean, you
the
can look
philosophy
at
a little bit of that.
statistically, according to the FBI, 1 in 5 women will be the victim of some sort of violent attack at some point in their life.
Oh, 1 in 5.
1 in 5.
That's terrible.
Yeah. So the odds are a little higher. Domestic violence, 1 in 3. Random sexual attacks, 1 in 4. Okay. So our whole focus is to try to get women to defend themselves and initially just to become a hard target.
Right.
You know, be smart about what you're doing, but if need be, fight back.
I had no idea that the statistics were like that at all. I mean, you see TV shows and you hear the news and all that, but man, that's terrible.
It is. And you know, and I wish my wife was able to join us today. She was not, unfortunately, Angie,
okay.
the director of the company.
Okay.
But women walk in a different world. They have to think differently. They have to act differently. It affects how they dress. It affects where they go. It affects their freedom.
Wow.
I had a young lady tell me once at a workshop I was doing with a local company, I said, "How does it affect your life?" And she said, "I don't go grocery shopping after dark."
Wow.
I go grocery shopping whenever I want. Paul.
Right. Yeah. Right? Never, as guys, we don't think about that stuff
right.
as much, and I think I'll take a whole new look on things when I get out there. Well, Jim, tell me, I guess you've said it a little bit, but why are you in this business? Why did you choose the empowerment of self-defense for women?
Well, the martial arts itself has been a lifelong passion of mine. I've been in this particular family for 22 years. It was early on in this family where I was tasked to be an adjunct instructor for a women's self-defense course at I'm
going to interrupt. Tell me what you mean by family.
An
organization
of martial artists that's headed by one person. So in the Chinese martial arts, we are a family,
okay.
A tong, if you will, a clan.
And you're talking about, so historically speaking,
historically,
right? Not
yes.
current, somebody
yeah,
running it now.
Roots go back directly 400 years for this particular clan.
Very historic, I got you.
So I was tasked by my senior master to assist in a women's self-defense workshop at a college for a few semesters. Really fell in love with the idea of empowering these girls, you know, just watching them go from standing in the corner going, I don't know what I do, toward the end of the semester they're throwing punches, throwing kicks, tossing 200-pound guys, you know.
Well, that's really got to make a difference in their life. I mean, where they can go, what they do, what confidence they have out in public, and everything, I would think.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they don't learn that growing up at home.
No, a lot, no. And society, you know, some girls, but, you know, society tends to teach women through media that, you're be submissive. Just, we even have some of these. I don't want to say the word idiot on television, but I just did, right?
Yeah.
And curl up in a ball and wet yourself, and that'll
Oh,
make
my.
the attacker go away.
Wow.
No, I mean, be strong, stand up.
Yeah, okay. Well, so back to the why.
Sure.
Why are you fell in love with this? I interrupted you, sorry.
No, that's
you
okay.
fell in love with this years ago, and tell us more about that. I mean, why this family, why this line, why the niche of women?
Wow, this particular family, the style is called Wing Chun.
Okay.
It's the same style that Bruce Lee practiced
Okay.
before he came to the United States, the same family, same clan. And to me, it was just the brutality of it, the simplicity of it, and how when I started teaching women specifically, to see how quickly they were able to pick it up.
Ah.
Because I wasn't trying to take a 100-pound girl and tell her, fight like a 200-pound guy.
Right,
No.
okay.
So if a tiger needs to fight, does a tiger go to dragon school and learn how to be a dragon? No. What does it do?
No.
It fights like a tiger.
Sure.
So we're able to take, just using the really ancient Chinese principles of teaching and and betterment, which is what Kung Fu means, self-improvement.
Okay. Oh, really? Okay.
We take these principles and we watch these people develop their own style. They become their own tiger, I think would be a good way to put it.
Well,
So,
that's fun. So your why is the empowerment you get out of watching the growth and the confidence of the women. But it's more than that. There's a personal story there too, right?
there is. I am the father of 5 daughters.
5 daughters.
I have 2 lovely stepdaughters that,
Wow.
that I call my own as well.
Wow.
I have several granddaughters.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's personal.
It's close to home
I want my girls to be protected.
because you can't walk with them all day, especially 5 or 7 of them. And
Most
so-
of them carry some sort of weapon.
Yeah, well,
and they're all adults now. Most
yeah,
of them.
oh,
anyway,
yeah. And so, yeah, and there's a reason there that you want
There is.
your own flesh and blood to be safe out there.
Don't we all?
Yeah, well, of course we do. So, well, that's a interesting story of a close to home why there, I'm sure. Well, tell us, Jim, what makes your business, your training, your empowerment within the martial arts and self-empowerment, self-defense, what makes yours different than others? I mean, it's almost a joke with my youngest son. We drive around West Omaha and we see all the strip malls, and you know what I'm going to say. They all have nails, a lot of physical therapy clinics, dentists, and what else? Karate.
Karate schools,
or
right.
whatever version of it they say.
Yeah.
So how are you different than the hundreds of them out there?
In several different ways. First off, we're very personal. We do not adopt the Western model of martial arts schools. We are still a clan. We are still a family. Our instruction is very one-to-one. I never think of my students as a fiscal resource that I have to manage and plot them out over electronic funds transfers over a period of a contract so I can make sure I get my light bill paid.
Wow,
right?
okay.
These are valuable assets. These are friends. These are relatives in a clan that we're guiding on a martial path.
I see. Wow.
So it's very personal. It's a very spiritual journey for us, to
Yeah.
share what we know to help protect those around us.
Yeah.
Initially.
It's like a family. It's
Absolutely.
part of the clan, and it sounds like you really get to know them and you really care about them.
We do, and our training is very one-to-one too. I never have more than 5 students per instructor.
Oh, really? Okay. Wow. And do you have other instructors besides yourself?
Yes, there's 2 that
Okay.
I trust to do that on a contract basis.
Yeah, you're right. I got you. Sure. Based on need and volume at the time.
How busy I am.
Yeah, well, there you go. Sure. And other differentiators.
Other differentiators is this particular martial art was developed for a woman. The first practitioner of the art was a 15-year-old merchant girl.
Oh, wow.
Her name was Yim Wing Chun.
Okay.
And she was struggling under the unwanted advances of a Manchurian army officer about 400 years ago in China.
Okay. Wow.
She came to the attention of some of the Shaolin, and they said, okay, what can we do with this little 100 pounds of package based on what we know?
Wow.
So they identified a set of principles, and they identified a set of movements the human body can make without any special training,
Interesting.
and they put those together.
400 years ago.
Yeah,
They didn't have PhDs in kinesiology.
they did not, no. They
but
did
yet
not.
they came up with this.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Chinese have understood a lot for a long time. That culture is almost 5,000 years old.
Wow.
And when you really look back at the history of the martial arts, even, on my wall, I have charts of pressure points that we attack on the human body.
Oh, okay.
Things now that Western medicine has come along and said, hey, those are important nerve junctions in the body where vital things happen, right?
Wow, okay.
But they've known it for a long time. So.
Okay, wow.
So again, we tailor specifically to smaller, more agile fighters.
Okay, well, hence women
Yep,
in a lot of
absolutely.
cases. That's fascinating to me that, the Me Too movement started 400 years ago.
I guess you could say that.
I mean, but I don't know if Me Too movement
I
don't know much about it, but
I like to think of it as the I don't think so.
I don't think so movement. There you go. I like that better. Yeah. I don't think the Me Too. I don't know what they advocate, so I shouldn't have brought them up. But I like your name better. The I don't think so movement. Oh, you think so? Well, I don't think so.
Right.
Boom. Then they take on your training. Any other differentiators? Things.
Well, and sure. One of the early things we focus on, especially with, I want to take a female, a woman that comes to me and says, I want to learn how to defend myself. Most of them don't want to deal with a 20-year journey that I've been on or that others are on. If they do, that's fine. We can
Sure.
offer that too. I have male students, female students. But the first thing we try to do is get them to accept the concept of using a non-lethal weapon.
Okay.
Have something with you that levels that playing field.
Right.
And I brought a couple of
and we'll talk about those,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I think first, so all these strip mall karate places don't necessarily deal in that. They're not quite as specialized as you.
Some of them do, but no, they're not. So we're very, very focused on non-lethal weapons very early on in your training, because a non-lethal weapon can take that 100-pound person and turn them into a 200-pound guy that's had a couple of beers. Right?
Yeah, well, there you go.
Little attitude.
Where okay, and knowing the little things to do.
Right.
So the caring family, the non-financial. I knew a financial planner once that she got out of it because of this. She says, I don't like that business because you start looking at everybody as dollar signs. Every person was a lead for their financial planning, and she couldn't go anywhere without thinking, okay, can I help him or her with their 401k or something
Right.
like that?
Well,
so she got out of that because of that.
not to. I mean, students pay for what they get.
Yes, of course.
There has to be a value.
It's
If
a
not-
business, yes.
If not, there's no. If you don't have any skin in the game, then
Right.
there's no value to you as
You're
a
right,
person.
yeah.
But again, we don't look at them just as that.
I understand. So that the non-financial part of it, the family part of it, the tools and techniques that we're talking about in this specialty niche, I think of just exactly what you do. A good list of differentiators, I think. Yeah. So anything else you want to add to that? That kind of covers it all.
I think that about covers it. Sure.
Yeah, okay, great. Well, how long have you been in the business?
We started the business, Kung Fu Damsels, 3 years ago.
Okay, 3 years ago.
2016.
And why did you decide to launch this?
Well, we came across a company out of Idaho called Damsel in Defense, and that is our partner company.
It's a great name too. Yeah.
Damsel specializes in women's self-defense tools.
Okay.
And my wife and I looked at this very young company. It was coming on really strong. It was debt-free. It was growing really quickly. And we thought, wow, this is a group of people we want to be affiliated with. So we made that connection, and then we started spinning off, doing our own thing here in the Omaha area.
What did you do before this kind of work?
I'm a retired paramedic.
Retired paramedic.
Actually.
Okay, so you retired from that after many years, and
15 years total.
And this was your next step, so to speak, in your career, huh?
Yep, indeed.
Self-employment, and was that scary, jumping out to the self-employment?
I
world?
don't think so. Not really. I've always been a very autonomous type personality. That's
Yeah.
what I enjoyed about being a paramedic.
Well,
Paramedics in the scope of their practice, they operate within a set of rules, obviously, but you make your own decisions in the back of the ambulance.
Yeah.
Right. You're not necessarily bound.
Well, that's good to know.
Outside your judgment.
Yeah,
So,
because there's not time to relay back and forth and get somebody else's opinion. Or
Right.
you're making life or death calls right there at the
so
time.
I always enjoyed the autonomy.
Sure,
of-
and so
of
that
job,
translates well to the
It does.
self-employment.
Now, I will say my wife does keep a regular job
Okay.
so that we have things like health insurance.
Yeah, well, that's all
because you do
important.
have to have that foundation. But-
You're not alone. Many people I talk to on the show have a spouse who also has a job, and they can therefore do their passion and pursue their side businesses. And sometimes those businesses grow, and the spouse can quit the job or still stays in the job because they don't want to be part of the business.
That's ultimately our desire. I don't know if she'd ever get to that point.
Yeah.
She really enjoys what she does.
Yeah, well, and that's good too. You know, that's what's fun about a whole entrepreneurial journey for people is to pick your own path. I think that the control and the choices that you have, and I've said this before on the show. People say, "I want to be an entrepreneur. That way, I can be in control. I can choose which 18 hours a day I work." You have 6 hours off. You can choose which ones.
Or as I like to say, you wake up some mornings going, I can't believe all the success that's coming at me right now. Then you wake up other mornings going, holy crap, how am I going to eat this week?
Yeah, exactly. And that's hence the up and down nature of the business.
Just got to be in it for the long haul.
Sure.
So.
Well, how do you promote yourself, speaking of new customers?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a website, kungfudamsels.com.
It's a good one.
Thank you. We have several landing pages that we use through an internet marketing company that we use. So we send out, email blurbs. We put posts out on social media. A lot of cold calling, a lot of word of mouth. The Centersphere Business Network.
Yeah.
I'll plug Centersphere while I'm
Yeah,
here.
well,
For
it's good.
small business,
It's
for
where we met.
entrepreneurs. It's unreal.
Good.
We went from two people that had a great idea, sitting there going, how are we going to get this out in front of the business community in Omaha? It was a friend of ours that was helping us move some retirement money once I retired into a different vehicle, and he looked at this and he went, oh my gosh, I've got some people you should meet.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks later, we're at a Centersphere meeting, and we joined immediately.
Well, I've been in it for about 3 years. Amy from Centersphere has been on the show, and it's a good organization. There's several networking groups out there, and a lot of good ones. But to entrepreneurs, hear it from Jim. Get out there and don't sit behind the glass on the keyboard all the time and looking at the computer hoping that's going to do it for you. You and I met at a Centersphere meeting, and here we are, and forming a long-time relationship, I hope. And the point is that networking thing, the human to human, for me personally, I'd had dozens of years in the human resources, headhunting, staffing, recruiting business. And most of that, believe it or not, was over the telephone. And I wasn't even aware that there were all these networking groups locally out there, because I was always talking to people on the phone. And I meet, depending on the employer, some of them I would come in, but a lot of times it was moving people around regionally or nationally. Didn't even meet the client or the candidate. Anyway, the point is, once I discovered how there were so many things, local businesses, local networking groups out there, I fell in love with that because I got tired of talking on the phone. And so, and entrepreneurs, find your niche, find what you're comfortable with, see where you fit out there. Does that fit for you?
Oh, absolutely. And so we joined Centersphere. Within the first 30 days, I had 27 different meetings.
Wow.
People wanted to sit down and learn more about what I did.
Well, yours is an interesting
so many
business.
People. Yeah. It was, but I went, there's 27 new contacts I made just in that first month alone.
And were they mostly women?
A lot of men as well.
Okay, interesting.
And a lot of them willing to sit down, professionals in marketing, professionals in internet business development, professionals in website development.
They want to help you out.
Yeah, they were willing to just
Yeah.
look at my website and give me little bits of free advice,
Yeah.
even though it was something they could have charged me for.
Yeah, that's great. Well, and that's, I think, kind of an Omaha area thing. People are friendly, people are helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's good. Yeah. Well, and so you launched it. What were some of your surprises along the way as you got rolling? I mean, 3 years is not a real long time.
No, it's
you're
not.
just getting rolling here.
I started stumbling into the fact that companies want to bring someone like me in to do lunch and learns, to do workshops for their
struggling
employees.
with this, you said?
I stumbled into it.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we did a lot of trade shows.
Wonderful.
We did a lot of the home party models, very organic, really slow growth.
Yeah, home party, wow.
Yeah. Think Mary Kay with pepper spray, right? That's what we like to tell people.
Mary Kay with pepper spray.
Yeah, so we're very grassroots, you know. And then I met someone who was a safety officer for a big company, and she said, "Hey, would you come in and do a presentation?" And
sure.
Like I said, I just kind of stumbled into it.
Well, that's a great angle because a lot of the big companies have this.
There are.
And they want to offer that as a perk, maybe to their female employees and things like that, and pay you to come in and do that.
What says I care more than having somebody come in and teach you a little bit about self-defense.
And the women leave empowered and appreciative of their employer, I bet.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
a win-win-win everywhere.
everywhere.
Very cool, very cool. So it sounds like you're doing all the right things as far as networking and getting out there.
Yeah, networking.
How did you stumble across those? Our viewers are often people who are just, how do I get my business going? How would I get up and running? How did you stumble into these things?
Networking groups,
Okay.
Making contacts through business networking.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, just customer contacts.
Sure.
We were presenting at a gun show, a trade show, and this gal walked up, purchased a self-defense item from us, and then told me who she was and asked me if I'd come in. So that was
Okay.
the first one.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you get lucky if you're out there.
That's it. It's
you
not,
make your own
it's
luck,
not
so
what
that-
you know. It's not how much you advertise. It's who knows you.
Exactly. Well, and being top of mind when they're ready to go. So
Yep.
that's how you get out there and that kind of thing. Well, speaking of Mary Kay with pepper spray, let's look at some of these items that you brought. Tell us about what you have here.
Yeah, sure. So, this is the big one. This is a stun gun.
Okay. Really?
It is an electrical compliance weapon,
Okay.
pain compliance weapon. It's designed to cause intense localized pain, loss of muscular control in the area of impact, 18 milliamps of electricity delivered into the attacker. Is it okay if I fire it? It's probably going to drive your sound guy crazy. But
Oh yeah. Well. Okay. Wow. Okay.
yeah, but you can imagine the power of being able to turn towards an attacker, raise your hands and say, "Get away from me."
Yeah.
This is one of the things we teach our gals, being, now I'm a hard target.
Right.
Right. This is going to hurt, buddy.
And so
all of
you encourage them to carry something like this in
Absolutely.
in that mode when they're walking through the parking lot.
Yeah, it's got a 300 lumen flashlight beam.
wow, okay.
Very bright. If I were to get that into your eyes, that would disrupt your vision a little bit.
Sure.
And then it's got that 18 milliamps of electricity on contact. Another thing about our stun guns is they're all equipped with this disable pin.
Oh, okay.
If I felt like I was going to lose control of the weapon, I can pull that pin out and it shuts off.
Oh, so they can't take it and use it on you.
They can never take it from me and use it
Well, isn't
against
that
me.
smart? Yeah.
That comes with a lifetime warranty from
Does
the
that
original
put someone on the ground then or not?
18 milliamps of electricity is a pretty solid charge.
Yeah.
It just depends on where you hit the person, though.
Okay.
So if you were to strike one of the major nerve bundles, say in the inside
I won't
the
have you
hip,
demonstrate me.
as the Chinese would say, noi gua gu,
Okay.
right inside the hip bone, there's a nerve bundle branch there. Yeah, that would cause the body to
Wow.
buckle like that. And once you take it off, they very well might drop.
Well, and I really like that disable thing. That's very smart.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat little device.
Sure.
So.
What does something like that run?
These are about $80.
Okay. Pretty good investment.
It's when you consider the amount of power that you have in your hand.
Yeah,
It's
well,
$80 well spent.
Yeah, I think so. That's terrific. Very interesting. What else do you have?
And then, of course, good old pepper spray.
Okay.
This shoots 16 feet,
Wow.
contains ultraviolet dye. The attacker cannot wash off their skin for 7 days.
Wow.
It is 18%
What's the
oleo.
point of that? What
It
is-
stains them under black light, so
Okay.
they could be seen under a black
Identified.
light. So if I identify the person,
Oh, okay.
and they find somebody meeting that description, and the person says, "Wasn't me," they
Wasn't
can
me.
shine a black light on them.
Wow.
There's a chemical marker in here that's on their skin.
16 feet.
16 feet.
Wow. Now, what if I have eyeglasses? Wear eyeglasses? Will that still work?
It'll still get to you, and what we stress to them when we're first teaching them is to fire at the center of the chest. So if I was going to hit you with pepper spray, I would aim right about at the base of your throat.
Okay.
Because just the atomization, just the
and you're gonna
fumes
breathe, okay.
are going to start interrupting your breathing or get up in your eye. It doesn't have to make direct contact to be an irritant.
Okay. It's mostly for the eyes or the breathing?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah, and it burns a lot too.
I bet. Well, that's
Yeah,
and
our
they got
pepper
the
sprays-
wristband there. I see that. So-
Yep, also has that disable technology. If you were to try to get it away from me,
Oh, okay.
I'd pull that out.
Well, there you go.
If you tried to fire it, it would collapse down inside and it wouldn't
Wow,
go off.
okay.
So.
Well, that's very ingenious. You'd be double protected if you have one in each hand.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, multiple layers, and one of the things
Well,
that we teach gals in our classes is why do police officers carry a firearm, they carry a taser, they carry a baton, they carry mace,
Okay.
right? Not
Yeah.
every self-defense situation calls for the same
Sure.
resolution. For instance, I
else?
want to use my pepper spray, but
No.
it's a 40-mile-an-hour wind blowing around Omaha, which happens sometimes.
I got you. Sure.
Right? I can't use it anymore.
Sure.
And then this is my personal favorite. We call this the Sakatumi keychain. It's a Kubotan. It's a keychain,
Right.
but it's a blunt striking instrument.
Just
So this
to-
is something I could use to strike at my opponent's base of their neck, center of the sternum, inside the
It's
armpits.
not really intended to penetrate them, but
No,
just,
it's
just to
blunt.
hurt a whole heck of a lot.
It does. Well, it takes all your force and focuses it down into
One
that tiny little point.
Little better, stronger than a ballpoint pen.
Yeah, it channels all your energy down into that one little point.
Yeah, I can see how that would help.
Yeah, it would. And if you put your keys on it,
Sure.
it makes a great flail too, to strike at the face,
okay.
to strike at the eyes.
Oh, okay.
In fact, there's a video on our website of me with one of these with a few keys on it, and I'm taking apart a sheet of drywall. Take some pretty good sized chunks out of it too.
Right.
And this is one of the ones that we really emphasize in our training because it's quick, it's easy to get to, it's easy to carry.
Right.
You put your keys on it, you
Yeah,
stick
not
it in
even-
your pocket,
yeah,
tuck
no.
it in your pant line, whatever.
Terrific.
Boom, you've got a weapon in your hand.
Well, there. Anything else, or is that all we brought for now?
That's all I brought.
Well, those are three very ingenious tools, and I would assume that they help and empower your students. Are there any stories where some of your students said, "I was in a situation," and
we have gotten feedback from,
share,
and
something
of
like
course
that?
I'll leave everybody anonymous.
course,
but one person who works in the bar industry,
Oh.
she cut off a couple of patrons one night because they were a little out of control, drank too much. So, and they were angry at that, so they went outside and they waited for her
Oh my.
to leave work.
Okay.
Who knows what their intention was to
Right.
teach this little witch a lesson, right,
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
thing. But they didn't know she had a stun gun. She was able to fight the both of them off.
Two of them?
Yep, until
Wow.
law enforcement arrived and security came out to assist her. Now, when we heard from her, she was in the emergency room getting stitches in her head
Oh, my.
and getting her hand x-rayed. But imagine how it would have
Could've
turned
been
out
worse,
if
yeah.
she hadn't
Yeah.
had a weapon with
Could
her.
have been worse.
Absolutely.
Well, that's a pretty important why to your story. It makes you feel good, I'm sure, about what you do and how you do it. Any parting advice you have for other entrepreneurs who want to pursue their passion and get started out there?
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because
There's-
you learn that way, or what?
You just have to decide. You just have to take the plunge. You
Yeah.
know, you can sit around and have an idea that you want to pursue for a long time. And of course, granted, it helps to have a good, solid base. You know, have a little bit of money set aside, right?
Right.
Have a plan.
Right.
But just have the courage to take that step.
Sure. Jim, it's been a pleasure.
No, the pleasure's all mine.
And enjoyed chatting with you. Enjoyed learning about someone who's taking a plunge in a kind of a retirement mode into pursuing his passion, and a passion that helps other people out as well. So if you want to try doing that, follow Jim's advice. Just do it. Sounds like
do
a
it.
sneaker ad or something like that. But get out there and make it happen for yourself. Also visit growmedia.com. Remember that we can put videos together to help you get your word out about your unique business as well. Jim, thanks again.
Thank you. 谢谢你.
Yeah, appreciate that, whatever that means.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. And we will see you next week on the Grow Your Biz Show.